Hey guys, as you guys know, guessing an answer using your longest pencil is the best way to guess it correctly. However, as magnet students, you guys have probably encountered the 100 problem tests where time is an issue. In that case, using slow sorts is too slow. So that's why I'll be showing you some faster sorts today. One of the faster sorts is quick sort. So you scramble up your pencils, and then you choose a pivot. Let's just choose the rightmost pencil as a pivot. So now you'll want to partition your pencils, or have all the pencils to the left of the pivot be shorter than the pivot, and all the pencils to the right of the pivot be longer than the pivot. So to do that, we'll just start from the first pencil and compare it to the pivot. This is the first one and it's shorter, we'll just leave it. This is the second one and it's also shorter, so we'll leave it. This is the third one and it's longer, we'll leave it. This is the next pencil and it's shorter than the pivot. So there's a longer one behind it. We'll want to swap this shorter pencil with the first longest pencil, which is this one, so we swap these two. Next, this one's longer, we'll leave it if the pencil is longer than the pivot. This one's shorter than the pivot, so we want to swap it with the first longest pencil. So now we know that these four are shorter than the pivot and these two are longer. So we'll swap the pivot with the first longest pencil we find, which is this one, so we swap these. Now, we have two sub-problems. Let's look at this left sub-problem. Let's choose this pencil as the pivot, the rightmost pencil as the pivot. So compared to the first one, it's longer than the pivot, so we'll leave it. Now this pencil is shorter than the pivot, so we'll swap it with the first longer one we find, which was this one. Now this pencil is also shorter than the pivot, so we'll have to swap it with the first longer one we found. And now we know that these two were shorter and this one was longer. So we swap the pivot with the longer one. Now we have two more sub-problems, but this one's a set of one, so we know it has to be sorted. These two, we'll just look at the right one and compared to the left one. It's a set of two and they're in order. Now let's look at this other sub-problem. Choose the right one as a pivot again. This one is shorter, but it's also the first value, so we'll leave it. This one's longer. We know that this one's shorter, so we'll swap it with the first longer one we found, which was this one. Now we have two sub-problems of one, so we know they have to be sorted. So now look, our pencils are sorted using quick sort. So now you can guess using your longest pencil faster than using the other types of sorts. Another faster sort is merge sort. With merge sort, you want to break down your group of pencils into groups of two, or if you have an odd number, into groups of 1 or 3. In this case, we'll break it down into groups of 1. So ideally, you want to split it in half or as close as you can. So since there's 7 pencils, split it into a group of 4 and 3. Then you want to split it in half again. So groups of 2, and then a group of 2 and a group of 1. Now you'll want to sort these smaller groups. So just find which ones compare to 2 and swap them if they're out of order. And then now you'll want to start merging your small groups of pencils again. So you compare the first two values of both and put the shorter one into the combined group of pencils. Compare the next ones, and then so forth. And then you want to combine these, put the shortest, compare the first two and put the shortest one up. And then compare these, put the shorter one, and so. And now you want to compare these two medium-sized groups. So you look at the first ones and put the shorter one into the finished array, and so on, and so on, until you have a sorted array, and that's merge sort. So now, using these faster sorting algorithms, hopefully you can finally finish those BFTs. Hopefully.